Great, we are at 6:01, so I will open this special.
Michelle is asking that we wait for just a minute to make
Nope.
sure that everything is streaming. So
Sure.
she'll let me know here in just a second.
Oh, excellent. Okay, thank you, Susan.
We're good.
Okay, again, since we are after 6 o'clock, I'll open this special session of the Philomath School Board. We have two topics that are related to the formal complaints against Board Chair Aaron Gudge. The first is in managing the complaint process. We, or particularly me, came to the realization that our complaint form does not specify or does not request the information necessary to confirm that the person filing the complaint has legitimate grounds to do so. Specifically, our board policy outlines there are four constituents who are allowed to file formal complaints with the board. That is a current student, a current staff member, a parent of a current student, or a resident of the Philomath School District. And because we have received emails and even some attempted formal complaints that do not meet those criteria, we wanted to update the form. And so the form now includes that the person must select any and all of those. Susan is now sharing here on the screen. You see in the upper right corner that block where it says check all that apply. That is new. And again, it just asks the complainant to specify that which of those constituencies they belong to. And then the only other change was you see right under phone number and email, we've added city of residence. Again, back in former times, we probably would have, or a complainant, excuse me, would have been requested to provide their mailing address. I think for privacy considerations, we don't do that anymore, but we do want to be able to validate that they at least, when they say they're a resident, that we know at least what city they're from. So those are the only two changes. The policy requires this information, or basically says this is what's needed for a formal complaint. And so therefore, we just wanted to have the form properly reflect the policy and basically have the form catch up to the policy. So this doesn't change the policy in any way, shape, or form. It just changes the data that we're specifically asking people to submit, so we don't have to follow up with them when they've filed a complaint. We typically don't vote on administrative rules, which is what this applies under. We only vote on policy. Again, this just aligns this document with policy. So I don't believe we need to cast any vote. Susan, you correct me if you feel, yep. But because we changed that form during this complaint process here, we just wanted to make sure the board was aware. And let me just open it up. Are there any concerns or input on that change?
Just to note that the AR itself, because there are 3 other pages that have language attached to it, none of that changed. And so the only thing that changed was the addition of information on the form. That was all.
So it's page 4 of that
Yes.
AR. So Susan,
Yep.
Thank you for that clarification. Okay, so seeing no hands up or no wishing to comment, we'll consider that closed. Our second and final topic is to address the formal complaints that Board Chair Erin Gudge has received related to a Facebook post that she made on her personal Facebook. We, as a board, need to determine what our next step is related to this process. And so I will open it up to the board for discussion and potential motions. Oh, you're speaking,
muted, Sandy.
but I think you're on mute.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yep, certainly
Okay.
can.
I would like to make a motion that we move to accept the public complaints against Board Chair Erin Gudge.
I'll second.
Okay, so the first motion is to for the board to basically formally accept the complaints that have been filed to date. And we have a motion and a second. Discussion on this motion to accept the complaints against Chair Gudge. Okay, seeing no comments, I will open it up to a vote. All those in favor of the motion, say aye, raise your hand.
Aye.
Okay, that is unanimous, 5-0. The board has formally accepted those complaints. So that's the first step. I will open it up for other discussion.
I would like
So
to make
now-
another motion, Tom.
Okay, Sandy, take the floor.
I move to delegate authority to the board vice chair, Tom Klipfel, to schedule a hearing and set the rules for that process on the complaints filed against Board Chair Gudge, with the complainants and respondent for the board to make a determination of the complaints.
I'll second that.
Right. Okay. So we got a motion from Sandy and a second from Ryan. So again, just to summarize, that motion is basically to initiate, so to delegate to me as the vice chair, because obviously the complaints are against the chair, to delegate the process of setting up a hearing where we would hear directly from the complainants and give the opportunity for the respondent to respond, for the board to ask questions, and then from there determine any next steps the board would take as a result of that hearing. Just summarizing for those in the public who are listening.
Correct.
Any discussion? Oh, Sandy, are you saying something there?
No, I said correct.
Yes,
I
great.
agree
Thank
with
you.
the summary. Yep.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay. Any discussion on the motion before us? Okay. Well, with that, we'll take it to a vote. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
All right.
And I'm seeing five yay votes, no nay votes, and no abstentions. So that's a 5-0 vote in favor of the motion. Okay. So with that, I will take on that burden of determining what the complaint process, or specifically the complaint hearing, will look like, and how we will administer that. By policy and law, my understanding, it will be up to the respondent to determine whether that's a closed hearing or an open hearing. And so we will determine that in the next couple of days, and we will work to get this scheduled. My hope would be certainly within the next 2 weeks, if not next week. But that's just my initial. We will have to look at schedules and whatnot, but we do. I have every commitment to move this along expeditiously. Go ahead again.
Yes, and in an effort of that, I am prepared right now to say that I would like to hold this hearing in open session at the earliest possible date in order to ensure transparency into the process of this hearing.
Okay. I'll accept that as your determination. So I will work with the board and yourself and the complainants to make sure we pick a time where we can make that happen. We will look to next week. Is any of the board unavailable next week, out of the country, out of the state, and just generally unavailable? I'm seeing none, so I will look toward next week. And it sounds like it will be an open session as Director Gudge gets to determine. Okay. We have a clear path forward then. Any other concluding comments? Okay. Susan, unless you have anything else, I will. Okay. Again, this was a special session specifically to address the complaint against Chair Gudge. That's exactly what we've done in these two discussions and these two motions, and we will move forward from here. I thank everyone for your time, and I will get communication out by tomorrow to the complainants so they know where we are and what comes next. Thank you all, and with that, I will close the meeting at 6:11. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you,
all.
Tom. Thank you, everybody.
Have a good night.
Right.
Good night.